podcast video ini kita. Niin, kylmä nyrnenmeid seda aasta sekundarin.
Hi, do you want me to take a picture together? Yeah? Okay,
it's
the
old
fashion.
school. Probably going to put the flash so
Okay.
it doesn't change anything.
The angle. Yeah, and the angle. Do you want some views from the back, or?
Yeah.
Because. Okay. Do you want another one, or?
It's fine, thanks. We need to spare on the pictures because we don't have many left.
Yeah. Do you want to be in a YouTube channel?
Which YouTube channel?
It's called World Pass, and I will remove your faces if you don't want to be in it. It's a very nice channel of traveling, and I basically do guided tours in many beautiful places around the world, so you can see medieval towns and so. So if you check for World Pass on YouTube, you can see yourself if you want to, and if you don't want to, it's fine. I can just blur your faces or cut it out.
Can you blur me? That would be cool if you can.
Yeah.
That would be very cool.
Fine. Okay. So I have a nice holiday. Bye.